they're serving the university. And from that exercise, identify some gaps. We strengthened some old existing policies, developed new ones that we believe are making us more efficient and more effective in doing our jobs. In closing, we need your full support of our annual fund drive in order for us to be successful in achieving our goals. Thank you for your support thus far and the support you are about to give. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm going to talk about 3 programs that we have going on in student affairs. As Dr. Pogue is always good about saying that recruitment is everybody's business. So the SGA came up with one program called We Want You at GSU. And what they do, they will go around to different cities. In the past year, they've gone to Little Rock, Dallas, Houston, and Shreveport, and they did recruiting activities at least 2 schools per stop. What we're hoping that in the future will increase the number of schools at each stop and will increase the number of cities that we will be visiting. The second program that I'm going to talk to you is about the Lyceum program. This year was a new start for us, and this year we had 7 individual programs that we did through the Lyceum series. One was called How to Stop Surviving and Start Living by Salal Abrams. Eric Michael Dyson was here. The Dallas Black Dance Theater was here. Ife Williams talked to us last week about telling our own story. Dr. Lee Jones came and talked to us last semester about what Greek life really means to African Americans. And we're hoping that with this series, we'll not only teach you things that you need to know in the classroom, but we'll introduce you to new things that you need to know outside of the classroom. We'll introduce you to new cultural experiences that are free for the community, faculty, staff, and students. And the last program that we want to talk to you about is our outreach and engagement for alumni, faculty, students, and staff. For this objective, we started a new program and then we renewed a program. Last fall, we had our first candlelight ceremony. I think we hadn't had one in 5 years. And the candlelight ceremony is to introduce the new freshmen to Grambling and the surrounding community and the community leaders. We did this in August, I think it was August 16th is when we had our program. And what we found is that the students really enjoyed meeting faculty, meeting staff in a whole different light. We were outside in the quad. It was very casual, is what I'll say. And they really enjoyed it. So that was the first program. The second program we have is the Tiger Torch Night. And this program is a program that we use to say goodbye to our graduating seniors. We had our first one December 16th of last year. We're going to have our next one May 20th of this semester, and we're hoping that all of you will be there. This is the last time you'll be able to talk to the students. You'll be able to commune with the students about what life at Grambling was really like. The students that came last year really appreciated it, and they said that this was the first time that they'd ever really gotten to talk to our faculty and staff in a different light as well. So what we're hoping is that you'll come out May 20th to help us celebrate our students as they leave. And I would ask one more thing of you before I leave, and that is, if you have any idea about what you think we should have at Grambling. What I'm talking about is maybe music groups, maybe it's plays. If you have some ideas about what you would want our Lyceum series to be, please give me a call or any members of the Lyceum committee. We're open and we welcome all of your suggestions. Thank you.
Can we give all of our vice presidents another hand? I know time is passing. I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about to describe the past, the present, and the future events of the planning process. In the beginning, between January and May of 2010, President Pogue appointed 12 advisory committees, the Institutional Effectiveness Committee, the Budget and Planning Committee, and the 21st Century Planning Council. The primary purpose of these groups is to serve as advisory to the President. They're also designed to ensure inclusiveness in the planning process by having membership on these committees to include students, faculty, staff, alumni, administrators, and community representatives. In July of 2010, we held a university-wide retreat with approximately 150 people participating. The purpose of the retreat was to deliberate the 10 priorities for the university and issues facing the university, such as declining enrollment, continuous reduction in state appropriations, reuniting the Grambling family. And we also developed strategic initiatives designed to keep the university moving in a forward direction. Following the retreat, there were divisional and departmental retreats held. Today, we have the completion of the 5-year strategic plan. It is the culmination of ideas and strategies from the entire Grambling community. It sets forth the goals and objectives designed to achieve the mission of the university. Now, our future steps will include our next annual retreat, which will be held in July of 2011. During this retreat, we will review where we are, get an understanding of how we got to where we are, and we will develop new strategies for continued improvement. Then we will prepare for our fall 2011 convocation. At that time, we will provide the community with an annual report that will cover all the facets of the university. Now, to expound on the importance of planning, I'm going to introduce to some and present to others our planning consultant, Dr. Michael McGovero. Dr. McGovero currently serves as Director of Undergraduate Studies and Professor of Economics at the University of Notre Dame. He has served as a Special Assistant to the President for Special Programs, Vice President for University Planning, Institutional Research, and Continuous Improvement, and he has served in many other academic leadership and administrative roles at several universities. He holds a doctorate degree in Economics, Public Finance from the University of Connecticut. Now, a friend of Grambling State University, Dr. Michael McGovero.
Thank you, Nettie. Thank you, Dr. Pogue. It's 9 months since I first met many of you. Met with the 21st Century Planning Group at that time, and I have had the pleasure of working with Dr. Pogue for much of the last 15 years. He's always been a consistent and early advocate for planning in higher education. When he arrived here at Grambling, he knew that there were many challenges facing the campus. A pattern of concern is set in place as a result of both internal and external factors. Foremost was the question, how do we meet the needs of students and faculty in the campus and in an environment of declining finances? Now, planning will never satisfy the need for more resources, but what it will do, and what it appears to beginning to take shape at Grambling, is to get all members of the community thinking about our future. It challenges us all to suggest and implement programs and ideas that will make the institution more effective in accomplishing its mission. It unites the campus community around a common set of purposes, and those purposes are providing the best education and learning experiences for the faculty members and particularly its students. And when you look at a document that is this engaged and this thick and this participant, you certainly have addressed that issue to an extent that you need to be proud. Now, as I said, I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Pogue in a similar financial environment, facing similar sets of challenges. One element of the solution that we've employed was to develop an inclusive planning process. One needed to be created here at Grambling, and this has taken place. The summer retreat has been created, the candlelighting ceremony, the fall convocation, community and town hall meetings, and a process of developing the initiatives found in the document. These are all critical elements in creating an effective planning process. Now, not only do these venues contribute to effective planning, but they build community. Dr. Pogue has found a collaborative and effective facilitator in this process. Ms. Daniels has accepted this challenge. There was much to learn, and she grasped the concepts in a short period of time. She, her staff, the 21st Century Planning Group, and all of you have extended the model to make it Grambling's own. When we first met with the senior team and the 21st Century Planning Group, we outlined 10 major mistakes in strategic planning. You've avoided them all. So now, 9 months later, from a planning perspective, where is the process now? Well, continuing on that theme of 10, I thought we'd look at it from an accrediting body perspective. Okay. What's good planning? Okay. And it points to 10 major accomplishments. To that end, let's benchmark where Grambling is and look at those 10 major accomplishments in planning. First, Grambling has developed, again, 10 priorities that are the result of an environmental assessment of the needs of the college, and at the same time, one that the campus community has control over. Secondly, Grambling has developed goals and objectives and strategies, both institutional-wide and for individual units, that are clearly stated, and they reflect conclusions drawn from environmental assessments that are linked to mission and planning. Thirdly, these strategies are used for planning and resource allocation, okay, at both the university and unit levels. And this is to your credit. You took the time to develop criteria to evaluate programs. Fourth, Grambling has developed and incorporated planning and improvement process that are clearly communicated, provide for constituent participation, and incorporate the use of assessment results. That's what we've seen here today. Fifth, there's an assessment of the effectiveness of planning, resource allocation, and institutional renewal process. Sixth, there's ample evidence, more than ample evidence, that the planning process are continuous and systematic. You have much more to look forward to. Seventh, there's in the alignment of the responsibilities for improvement and assurance and accountability. It's not a document that sits on the shelf. It's living and breathing. It reminds us of what we said was important to us and makes sure that we complete those things that we said were important to us in not only a complete manner but a timely manner. Eighth, there's a record of institutional and unit improvement efforts and their results. The vice presidents pointed to those major accomplishments in their areas. Ninth, there's an institutional culture for planning that is marked by faculty, staff, and administrators' understanding of their roles in the planning process. Efforts are in place to encourage, organize, and value efforts that are engaged in planning institutional renewal. And finally, 10th, Grambling University developed priorities that are consistent with the system priorities. At the same time, Grambling is not beholden to them. They allow for flexibility and local control, the traditions that President Pogue said were so very important to the university. In summary, let me say, planning is never complete. It's an ongoing process. The issues that are heightened in terms of importance are always changing. It's clear, however, that the processes are in place and the motivation to succeed is everywhere present. Congratulations, Grambling.
Thank you very much, Dr. Walton, Dr. Doohan, Dr. Bryant, Mr. Sanders, Dr. Akey, all members of PEC, Thank you, Ms. Nettie Daniels,